Coast. I do want to welcome you guys all here to our last meeting for the day. I'm glad you guys decided to stick around. My name is Sierra and I'm going to be your ambassador for today. What I do here at Riverbanks is I am part of the guest engagement team. So that means I'm actually here for you guys. If you guys have any questions about any of the animals you guys are seeing here today, I would love to answer those questions for you. Because what I do is I work half my day alongside our animal departments and half my day out in the park to be able to answer those questions for you. So again, I would love to answer them if you have any for me after this talk. But what I'm going to do for you guys is actually tell you some pretty cool stuff about our penguins and this habitat right here in Penguin Coast. Now it looks like we do have a couple new people here, so I'm going to quickly go through our 3 penguin species very quickly, just so everybody here will be able to know the differences between them. Now since I am so short, we're going to start with our shortest penguins here, and these guys are going to be those rock hoppers. Now rock hoppers again are going to be those ones with those yellow eyebrows to them. Now we do have 2 chicks here that are rock hoppers, but they don't have those yellow eyebrows just yet, and you can see one of them kind of hopping its way over to our zookeeper over there this afternoon. Now rock hoppers can jump rocks 3 feet high and have a 6-foot vertical leap to them, which is pretty impressive for only being a foot tall. Now we do have our 2nd largest penguin here, which you can see one of them just hopped up over there on those rocks. These guys are going to be called Gen 2 penguins. Now Gen 2s are going to be the ones with the white markings on the side of their head that wrap around looking like white earmuffs. Gen 2s again are going to stand 2 feet tall. They are going to be the fastest swimming penguin out there out of all 17 species of penguin. They can actually swim 22 miles per hour, which is 4 times faster than Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps. Now, last but not least, we do have 3 of our tallest penguins here. You can see one of them swimming right here in the water. These guys are going to be called king penguins. Now, king penguins will be standing 3 feet tall, and these guys are going to be incredible divers. They can dive 1,000 feet deep and search for food and hold their breath for 15 minutes. Now, I'm sure there is a couple of you guys that are looking over to our king penguins and thinking, this woman has lost her mind. Those are emperor penguins. Well, emperor and king penguins look very, very similar. They actually have 2 defining differences between them. Now, one of them is going to be their height. So again, our king penguins, like this one right here, it's going to be 3 feet tall. But emperor penguins are going to be 4 feet tall. Now the biggest difference between them though, is going to be the temperature of their habitat. So emperor penguins need to stay in a habitat 28 degrees or colder, where this habitat here is going to be 45 degrees in the air and the water is going to be 40 degrees. Now this is perfect for the 3 species that live right here in Penguin Coast, but it's far too warm for an emperor penguin. Now the only emperor penguin that we do have here at Riverbanks is going to be a life-size cutout right over there against that wall for you guys to stand up against just to see how tall you would be against an emperor penguin. But as you guys can see, Sam has come on out and done probably 2 feeding styles while I was talking. One of the feeding styles that we do here at Penguin Coast is going to be called broadcast feeding. Now this is where Sam is going to take a handful of fish, throw it into the open water right over here, or even on this side of our habitat. Now what this is doing is getting our penguins to do their natural behaviors that they would out in the wild, such as going and swimming for those fish. But we also do this as a form of enrichment. Now enrichment means they are getting mental or physical stimulation by completing a certain behavior or interacting with a certain item. This is actually very similar if we were reading a really good book, solving a fun puzzle, or just playing tag with our friends outside. Just the same thing for our animals. We make sure to give all of our animals some form of enrichment. Now, some of the ways that we will also do other enrichments for our penguins is one of my personal favorites is we will put a bubble machine out here, and all of our penguins waddle around, chase the bubbles, and try and jump up and pop them as well. But we also do another way, and that's going to be putting all their really tasty fish into a puzzle feeder and put it in the water. They have to figure out how to get those really tasty snacks out of it. So it always gets their mind and their body moving. Now, the other style that we are doing right here at our Penguin Coast with our feeding is going to be another feeding style called hand feeding. Now this is very important because this is going to make sure each and every single one of our penguins is getting the necessary 2 pounds per fish every single day. But this is giving our zookeepers an opportunity to look over our penguins to make sure there's no cuts, scrapes, or bruises on them whatsoever, which is pretty important for them as well. Now, if you are like me though, and when someone says penguin, you probably think of this tuxedo look that they are known for. Well, this is actually a more important purpose than just looking very dashing. This is actually a form of camouflage. Now, I'm sure a couple of you guys are looking over to our penguin colony and thinking, how in the world is that camouflage? They stick out like sore thumbs. Well, this is a form of camouflage called counter shading, and I'm going to show you guys how it works. So we're going to pretend we're a really big shark and we're swimming underneath the water and we're looking up above us to see if we can find a really tasty snack. Well, when we look up, the sun is going to be beaming very brightly down into the water. It's going to be blinding and white. So we're not going to be able to see these guys as often because of those white bellies that they have. Now we're going to pretend we're a really big bird and we're flying over the ocean and we're looking down to see if we can again find a really tasty snack. Well, the ocean is going to be very deep, so it's going to be very dark when we look down. So we're not going to be able to see these guys as often because of those dark backs that they have. So this is a great way to not only protect them from above, but also below. And it's very important when you are having to swim so much in the water. Now these guys, again, are indeed birds. That's why they're in our birdhouse. They're called flightless birds. Now these guys actually though, what a lot of people don't know, is going to have the most feathers out of all of the birds in the animal kingdom. They have 100 per square inch of feathers on their body, and they have 2 layers of feathers as well. Now their bottom layer of feathers is very important. It's called down feathers. It keeps them nice and warm. But this top layer is even more important. So as you guys can see when they are swimming underneath the water, you're going to see a lot of bubbles come off their body. That is actually because these guys have something called waterproof feathering, which means the top layer of feathers are actually repelling or pushing the water off of their feathers. And it's actually so good at pushing the water away from their body that those feathers underneath and even their skin never get wet whatsoever. So it's a great way to keep them nice and warm, not only when they're swimming in that very frigid water, but also when they're in that really cold air and standing around as well. Now something we do like to bring up here at Riverbanks Zoo and Garden is something called overfishing. Now, by a show of hands, who here really likes fish for dinner sometimes? You can raise your hand if you do. We got a couple people, that's really cool if you guys do. I see a lot of you guys don't, it's not a big deal whatsoever. Now what goes on though is around the world, there is a lot of people that really love fish, almost as much as penguins do. And so what happens is fishermen go out to their natural waters in the wild and take way too many fish from their waters. So now our penguins have to swim out further away from home and search for food, not only for themselves, but also for their chicks. So they get really dangerous, because this then means they have to encounter more predators. Now what we can do to help them out in the wild is not get rid of our really tasty fish we like to eat, but what you guys can do is download a free app for your phone called Seafood Watch that Riverbanks have made right here. And what it is a free app for your phone that you guys can search up the fish you're about to buy, either at the grocery store or the restaurant, to see if it was sustainably caught or overfished. You can make a simple choice to help them out in the wild. But if you're like me, and it seems like most everybody here, you don't like fish, it's actually a really fun way to help out right here at Riverbanks. Every single weekend for 5 of our habitats, we do something really fun called backstage tours. Now this is going to be one of those habitats that we do this for. What you guys can do is go to our guest relations or on our website, search up Backstage. Pick a backstage you want to do, which we have some pretty cool ones. My personal favorite ones are the bears. You guys pay a small fee, come on the day you're scheduled for. Then you guys get to come behind the scenes, see what it looks like and how everything operates. For this habitat here, you will become behind the scenes and then sit in this room right behind this rocky wall over here. And then we actually open this door and all of our penguins come waddling on in. So you guys get a close encounter with our penguin colony. And it's really cool because you also get a close encounter with our zookeepers. So you guys get to see what it's like to work with these cold, feathery friends every single day. And a portion of the money of these backstage tours goes back into our conservation fund, not only to help our animals here that are endangered, but also their species out in the wild, because we want to help as much as we can from here in Colombia. Now again, this is our last feeding for the day, and it looks like our zookeeper is done for the day as well. But again, my name is Sierra, and I'm going to be standing right up here for a while. If you guys have any questions for me, not only about our penguins, but any of the animals that live here, I would love to talk to you guys. But if not, I hope you guys have a really great rest of your day right here at Riverbanks Zoo and Garden.